Hey guys, this is an intermediate Vinyasa flow, working on a little bit of everything today, mostly some standing poses, but also arm balances, inversions, and twists. We're going to go ahead and start out in Vajrasana, your lightning bolt pose. So go ahead, come on to hands and knees. Bring the knees all the way together if you can, connecting ankles as well, and see if you can sit back on the heels. If this isn't working for you, maybe you have a block next to you. You can separate the feet a little, bring it right in between the feet. And just try to send the tail towards the floor, extending the spine. Close the eyes or soften the gaze down towards the floor. And just begin to arrive in the body. Noticing maybe any areas of the body that are a little bit stiffer. Maybe some areas that are a little bit more free. Just see if you can soften any of the body, any areas that are giving you a little bit of trouble. Probably the ankles and the knees. And notice the breath. We'll start to deepen that here. Inhaling through the nostrils, counting that out to a 4 or 5. Maybe you find your Ujjayi breath at an ocean sounding Darth Vader breath. And exhale slowly, steadily, maybe counting it out a little bit longer. Letting that breath go until the lungs are completely empty. Just see if you can commit today to linking every movement with breath, noticing how the breath may influence the pose, and trying to not go for your deepest expression of the pose if it is going to affect the breath. Just trying to make safety in your breath number one today. And maybe you had another intention or goal in mind, and you can go ahead and keep that during your practice as well. Okay, so we're going to find a twist in our Vajrasana. You can go ahead and open the eyes if you haven't already. Inhale, lift the arms up, we're reaching up, looking up. Exhale, come over towards that left side, bringing the left hand behind the back, or maybe just to the hip, or right hand to the knee. Rotate over. Keep on extending the tail down, lifting through the heart, looking over that left shoulder. You can even try to send that left elbow back into space as well. And inhale, find your center again, extending up, lift the ribcage, and over towards the right side this time. Again, finding the knee, keeping the shoulders low, elbows lengthening down, just to enable you to lift the heart a little bit more. We're drawing the belly in, wrapping it towards the right side of the room, looking over that right shoulder. Inhale back to center, reach up. Exhale, bring those hands onto the floor out in front of you. So maybe you need to pedal up the feet a little bit here. Intensity left in the knees and ankles. Go ahead and do that. We'll do our downward dog from here. So at the front of the mat, bring the hands shoulder distance apart. Spread the fingers, root downward to lift the hips high. We're sending them back into space, and maybe you start to open up through the backs of the thighs, lifting the hips higher, maybe the heels start to come towards the floor. You can always pedal out the feet one at a time here to help open up the backs of the thighs. Maybe you're even giving yourself a little sway side to side. That'll help as well. Just try to find a little more freedom here in your first downward dog. Okay, bend the knees, look forward. You can step, hop, walk. Find your way, landing lightly at the front of the mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, your flat back. Try to find a cow shape, so tail reaching behind, heart drawn forward. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the knees soft, belly engaged. Inhale, reach those arms up towards the sky. Stretch up, root downward to lift up higher through those fingers. And exhale, go ahead and bring hands to heart center. We'll do a couple of Surya Namaskar, Sun Salutation A's here. So inhale, reach arms high. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha, heart draws forward. Exhale, hands to the floor. So you can step back in a plank, lowering to Chaturanga. Maybe you just hop there all in one exhale. Inhale into your cobra. Hips can be on floor. Maybe you're off the hips, downward, upward dog. And then roll over the toes. Find your downward dog. Take a few cycles of breath here, finding movement or stillness if you like. See if you can spread the inner thighs behind you, spreading the sit bones. Seeing if you can press the hips not only up a little bit higher, but also back into space. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, finding your way. If you're stepping opposite foot this time or landing, hopping, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, forward fold, using hands to maybe compress abdomen into the thighs. Inhale, circle the hands high, maybe a little back, but you can send hips a little forward, reach arms back if you'd like. Exhale, bring those hands to heart center. We'll do that one again. Inhale, reach high. And exhale, fold forward, slowly and controlled. Inhale, flatten out that nice 7 shape. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back, opposite foot, or maybe you're hopping into chaturanga with soft elbows. Inhale, up, up dog. See if you can send shoulders back and down, curl the heart forward. Find your way back into downward dog. And you may not be exactly where I am in your vinyasas or your sun salutations. You can take your time on them, just arriving where I am at your own pace. Gaze is going to start to turn up towards the navel. Maybe you do some yeses or nose with the head, just to make some space, some freedom in the shoulders and the neck. Long inhale. Exhale, we're gazing forward, bending knees again, find a way to the front of the mat. Inhale, half forward fold. And exhale, fold, fold. Reach up here, inhale, maybe a little back bend again. And exhale, bring those hands to heart center. Modified Surya Namaskar, be here, bring the feet all the way together. You can inhale as you bring fingertips to floor, ducking low into your chair. Then reach the arms forward, hands can stay at heart center if you need. We'll try a little balance before we come back, so weight into the right foot, squeeze inner thighs. See if you can bring the left toes back without straightening out the right leg. And then other side, left foot to the floor, pointing right toes back, squeeze the heel towards the glutes, stay low and soften that left knee. Both feet to the floor, lower forward fold. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, hopping, stepping back, find your chaturanga. Your belly down, back bend, inhale, tuck the tail, send the hips towards the floor. Exhale, roll over those downward toes, come to downward dog. From here, warrior one, right foot, bring it in between the hands, left toe splay out. Reach up, maybe the hands touch, maybe you find a bind here, stay low in the right knee, and all the way back towards the floor. Slowly in control. Step right foot back, Vinyasa. You don't have to take all these vinyasas today. Listen to the body. Maybe you take little child's pose or stay in downward dog if you need. Warrior one, veer one, other side. The left foot steps forward, right toes out 45 degrees. Inhale yourself upright. Joining hands or binding, just extend upward here. Turning right side of the body forward, the left side back. Back towards the floor. Again, another vinyasa as you step left foot back. Inhale, back bending. And exhale, you're back into your downward dog. We've done a couple of these already. Just notice if you've made any space. Maybe behind the kneecaps, ankles, or it's just easier to press the mat away. You've opened up the upper back a little bit. Just notice if no changes at all, that's okay as well. Inhale. Start to look forward, bend the knees, find your way to the front of the mat. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold forward. We're sending the hips low again, finding our Utkatasana fierce pose. Trying to eliminate the back bend here, tuck the tail. Weight coming into the left foot this time, squeeze inner thighs, send the right foot back. Still hips back here, not straightening out the leg. Other side, right foot finds the floor, transfer weight. There's you lift off the left foot. Keep the shoulder blades onto the back, reaching forward. Both feet find the floor. Inhale, reach up a little back bend here if you'd like. Exhale those hands to heart center. Finding our way to the floor. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. You can flatten out and then we'll step the left foot to the back of the mat. Find your runner's lunge. Hands, bring them to either side of that front foot, right knee right over above the ankle. If you notice the heel is pretty far back, scooch the toes back maybe so you can line your heel a little bit farther on top of the toe mound. Draw the belly in and start to reach up into your crescent lunge. If you notice shoulders are forward here, maybe a bend in the back knee so you can tuck the tail, squeeze the shoulders back, extend up. Inhale. Exhale, start to twist over towards the right side. Maybe hands are at the hips as you try to bring left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, or we're reaching out here. Try to keep that bend in the front knee as you had it in crescent lunge. Maybe try to look back, gaze over the right thumb. Try to challenge your balance here. Deep breath in. It's okay if you're wobbling a little. I am too. Exhale, bring your way into warrior two. Back heel comes onto the floor. Toes face the long edge of the mat. Right knee still facing forward. Look over that right middle finger. Draw the belly and lift the heart just to lengthen through the insides of the thighs. If you notice the knees bending towards the left, bring them out towards the right side. Inhale, straighten out the front leg. We're finding triangle pose, so you can bring the left foot in just a little bit. I need to, maybe you do as well. And extend forward with straight, strong legs, keeping the heart lifted. When you can't go any farther, right hand, shin, maybe it finds the floor. Left hand, reach it up towards the sky. We're keeping our length through the side body, so if you notice you're crunching into the right side to bring the hand onto the floor, maybe you're lifting a little bit higher so you can keep that lengthening. Inhale, keep on extending forward through the crown of the head. And we'll exhale, start to gaze forward, bending into the front knee, bring the hands onto the floor. On the back toes, step the right foot, hover next to the left here, one-legged plank, inhale. Exhale, maybe you lower, one-legged chaturanga if you'd like. Bring right foot back onto the floor as you up dog. And exhale, roll over the toes, downward dog. And breathe it out. If you notice that heart rate beating in the chest, see if you can slow down the breath, and maybe the heart rate starts to slow down with it. We're finding our way forward here, finding a little handstand hop, maybe just a cannonball. Bring the feet closer together. We're bending the knees, bringing the abdomen to the thighs. Look far forward, and you're going to launch yourself and bring the heels towards the glutes. See if you can hover the hips over the wrists, landing lightly at the front of the mat. Maybe you find a little balance. Maybe you just try to land it forward. Inhale, flat back here. We'll find Padangusthasana, big toe hold. So widen the feet hip distance apart. I'm just rearranging so you can see me. Lift the toes. Bring the peace fingers underneath the big toes with big finger in between them. Maybe you're bending the knees to find this as well. On your inhale, try to straighten out a little bit more. Act as if you could pull the feet off the floor. And exhale, reach downward through the crown of the head. Splay the elbows out. Notice if the shoulders are coming down towards the ears. Lengthen them up the back. Keep the hips high, transferring more weight into the toes if you can to shift the hips a little farther forward. So instead of the hips maybe behind the heels, they start to come a little bit farther forward. Inhale, flat back. You can let go of those toes, hands to the floor. This time we're stepping right foot to the back of the mat into our crescent or lower runner's lunge first. Hands either side of the front foot, left knee facing straight forward. Power up the back of the right thigh. Grounding through those feet, belly, and start to extend upward into your crescent lunge. Can join hands or find a bind, kind of like warrior one. Looking up to challenge the balance. Draw the belly and lift up through the sternum. Long inhale. Exhale, we're doing that twist again. So start to open up towards the left side of the room, keeping left knee forward, left hip in. Maybe you reach out. Maybe you turn that gaze towards the left thumb. Extend outward through those fingertips so they're not just laying limp, they're energized, reaching up, helping to contribute to the pose. See if you can even square the shoulders behind you, drawing them in, flattening out the back to help twist the upper back a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale, windmill yourself into warrior two. Right toes face right edge of the mat, right side of the room. Reach out. Tuck the tail down towards the floor. You may feel the butt sticking out. You want all the legs, arms in that straight line here. And instead of lifting shoulders, just draw shoulders down the back and extend outward, saving some energy this way. Inhale, straighten out the front leg. Trikonasa, triangle time. I'm going to bring my right foot in a little bit. Extend forward, lengthening back through the hips, reaching through the crown of the head and the left fingertips. When you can't go any farther, hand to the shin, the ankle, the floor. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. Again, that butt may want to stick out here. See if you can send it towards the right side of the room. And maybe the shoulders are coming forward into space. See if you can lengthen them back towards the left side of the room. Deep breath in. Make sure you're grounding the outside of that right foot as well as the inside of the left. Exhale, bend the front knee. Both hands come onto the floor. On the right toes. Step left foot, hover here, maybe in your one-legged plank. You can lower chaturanga here, or triyanga, actually, chatur, 4 angles. Tree, 3, we only have 3 limbs, or 4 limbs, 3 limbs. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to downward dog. Breathe it out. Maybe you're taking a rest here if you need to. Any other type of downward dog you wanted to do here as well. A little twist, a little balance, find that as well. I'll just stay where I am. So bend the knees, look forward. If you wanted to do those cannonball hops, again, we're joining ankles, big toe mounds, launching forward, keeping heels in the glutes. See if you can hover here, gaze stays forward. Land lightly. Find your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back again. This time, Padahastasana, hands to feet pose. So you can lift one foot at a time, bringing the hands underneath them. Just ground the big toe, all the toes into the wrist. Inhale, straighten out a little bit more. And exhale, fold forward like Padangusthasana. Big toe forward fold that we just did. Elbows splay out towards the sides. Lower crown of the head towards the space in between the feet. Keep the belly drawn in, helping to lengthen the spine towards the floor. Inhale, gently release here. Hands coming onto the floor. We're going to step the left foot to the back of the mat again, finding this sequence just a little bit deeper this time. From runner's lunge, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, revolved high lunge here. We're going to do a revolved reverse warrior. So you can start to look back at the left thigh. Maybe right arm can find it here, and you can walk down a little bit lower. Lengthen left fingertips up towards the sky, turn the palm back, and maybe you're reaching, extending back. Notice if the right leg straightens out, see if you can re-bend it. Not allowing the left leg to cave under the weight of the right arm, but press the leg back into the arm and use the core to keep yourself upright. Inhale, bring yourself into revolved again. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten out the front leg, come forward to triangle. Reaching up through those left fingertips as if I were pulling the hand upward. From here, we'll do a half moon Ardha Chandrasana. So you're going to bend the knee a little bit, bring right fingertips about a foot out in front. Left hand may start at the hip. Just start to slide the left leg forward, keeping the hips stacked, kind of like your triangle shape. Send the left heel back into space. Try to stack the shoulders. Reach forward through the crown of the head so the upper body's paralleling towards the floor. And maybe you extend left fingertips up towards the sky. If you'd like to look up, you can look up. If you want to take your sugar cane by grabbing the left foot, pulling it in, you can do that as well here. Inhale. Exhale, bring both hands onto the floor. Maybe you need blocks here for your standing splits too. Start to square the hips this time. So not Ardha Chandrasana with hips open, this time close. Reaching out through the back toes. Hands maybe start a little farther out in front, but as you fold the body forward, maybe they're coming closer to either side of that front foot. Like with our other forward folds, more weight into the toes, maybe sending hips a little farther forward, not too far forward, but above the arch of the foot. We'll try a handstand hop from here, so hands can come a little farther out in front, maybe even walk the right foot back half the way. Right leg is going to be our cannonball leg here. Left leg's going to extend upwards. So reach up here, kicking right heel towards the glute. Maybe you hover. Keeping this right knee is really going to help you find your tail alignment. So pull it in deeper. Keep that steady gaze. Deep breath in. Maybe you're still hovering. Maybe you're finding your way back to the front of the mat. You can do Vinyasa here. So Wherever you are, back to chaturanga. You can land out of a handstand into chaturanga if you like, but up dog and down dog. Go ahead and walk the hands to the feet here. We're going to try revolved forward fold here, Parvrita Uttanasana. How this is going to work, I'm going to face you guys again. You're going to bring the left hand to the outside of the right ankle. And what we're going to try to do here is rotate so that the inside of the hand comes a full 360 and the thumb is facing towards the wall behind you now. A lot of wrist flexibility to get here. Right hand, walk it over towards the left side, maybe find that ankle as well. So you're pulling yourself down forward, see if you can open up towards the front of the room. So right elbow bends towards the left elbow locks into the outside of the right leg to help open up here. And you can just have hands on the floor here trying to open up as well. You don't have to find the ankles per se. Bring yourself back to center. We'll try that on the other side. So right hand, bring it over towards the left ankle. We're just going to turn the palm faces the ankle and the thumb facing backwards here. See if you can bend the elbow, trying to bring it to the outside of the calf as well. Left hand, bring it over. Maybe you're finding right ankle. Just open up. You can even press the head into the left elbow here to help open up. And the hips will probably come out towards one side or the other. See if you can try to center them. The legs may bend. Try to keep them a little more straight. Inhale. Exhale, slowly back to center. We're walking out, finding our way to the front of the mat, and you can step hop, find your way forward here. We'll do that sequence on the other side. So this time we're stepping right foot to the back of the mat. Runner's lunge, inhale, up into crescent. Exhale, revolve over towards the left side of the room. Start to take your reverse revolve. Left arm finds the outside of the right thigh. Right arm, turn the palm towards the wall behind you. Extend backwards. Make sure front knee not straightening out, but lengthening forward. Draw the belly in. Trying to twist, side bend, and back bend all at the same time here. Find a lot of length. Maybe you're even looking over the right fingertips, making sure they're reaching up and away. Inhale back into revolved. Exhale, find your warrior two. Inhale, straighten out the leg, Trikonasana. Right fingertips reach high, maybe gaze comes up as well. So from here, finding that balance again, I'm going to scoop my left foot back just so I'm still in the frame here. Left fingertips bring about a foot in front of the left foot, maybe elevated on a block. So as you lift the right leg, we're not forward bending here, but extending. Right hip isn't coming down, but lifting back. Right fingertips may reach up. See if you can bring less weight into those left fingertips here as well. So try to use the upper body to help extend itself upwards. If you wanted this Ardha Chandrasana, Chapasana, sugar cane, you can take that as well. Inhale. Exhale, hands find the floor. We're squaring the hips now, reaching through the back of the right thigh. Maybe hands are a little farther forward. You're not quite too folded. Hands can start to walk closer. We're aiming the crown of the head towards the foot. Look back at that right leg. Make sure that your hip isn't open, but the toes are straight over the leg, not out towards the side, straight forward. We'll find those handstand hops again, so hands out on the floor. Maybe you're stepping left foot back a little. We're launching through the left leg, extending through the right, and kick the left heel towards the glute. Keep that steady gaze. Try to straighten out the arms, bringing the forearms a little bit closer towards one another. Belly's in. Extending away from the floor everywhere you can to make it a little bit easier on those hands. Inhale. Exhale, maybe finding your way through chaturanga here. Just press yourself into a child's pose. Maybe you wanted that vinyasa, you can take that as well, but we are going to take a little rest. So in child's pose when you're ready. You can have arms extended forward, or maybe you're reaching alongside the body, resting a temple. Just breathe into the inner thighs. Soften where you can. Legs, the core, the lower back, maybe even the face as well. Okay, from here, you can walk yourself forward, tuck the toes, walking, hopping, find your way to the front of the mat any way you want to get there. Inhale, bring yourself all the way upright. Gonna try a little standing balancing here. Figure 4 Utkatasana. Bring the feet hip distance apart. We'll start by bringing the hips back forward in Utkatasana, keeping the knees nice and soft. Bring the weight into the right foot. We're gonna bring the left knee up to start out with here, flexing the toes. Notice if the right leg straightens out, we wanna keep it nice and bent. From here, left knee, bring it out towards the side. Place the ankle or shin on top of the right. So you can stay more upright here, keeping the right knee soft. If it's easier to straighten out the leg, maybe you're there, but if you want to take it a little bit deeper, send the hips back into space. Hands can come to heart center if you need a little support on the ankle and knee, or reaching out forward. Try to minimize the amount of space you see the inside of the left foot. So we're pressing the big toe mound towards the right, bringing pinky toes back towards the left. And we'll see if we can come out with as much control as we came into. So just lifting the left leg out, lifting the knee. Almost come to standing, just hover that left foot. We're gonna take a dance here all at the same time. So kick the heel back towards the glute, find the ankle, maybe the shin. Parallel the knees at first as you try to square the hips, but then start extending arm forward, kicking ankle back into left leg. You may have the knee open, try to close it down. Just parallel the upper body more towards the front of the room. The more you kick into the arm, the more the left shoulder is going to come back, so keep on doing that. Deep breath in. Exhale, gently come upright, both feet find the floor, shake it out. Maybe the right knee leads a little swing, the right leg. Do whatever you need to reset. We'll find our way to the front-ish to the mat again. I guess where you are on the mat doesn't matter too much here, but feet, separate them hip distance apart. Start to bend the knees again, keeping them nice and soft. This time, bring the weight into the left foot without bringing the hip out too much. Right knee comes up. Flex the toes. Keep it low, hips are coming back. Start to bring the right knee out towards the side. Place the ankle or shin on the thigh for figure 4. Again, big toe mound stretches forward, pinky toe back. Maybe you get a little bit deeper or reach forward. Just keep on grounding through that standing foot, noticing you're pressing into all 4 corners of the feet, trying to broaden that base underneath you. Maybe you start to grip less with the toes as well as you notice the engagement of the foot. Okay, slowly coming out, bring the right knee out towards the side as you release the foot. Bring it on up. Straighten the leg, just hovering here, not ready to bring both feet on the floor yet. Kick the right heel back. Find that ankle or the shin. Reach forward through the left fingertips, start to bring the right ankle back. Left leg can be a little bent here. Standing leg doesn't have to be super straight. In fact, if you normally hyperextend, keep a little bend here just to keep it safe. Inhale, find that steady gaze on the floor out in front of you to help you balance. And exhale, slowly back down here. Gently release the right foot, shake it out. Okay, back towards the front of the mat. Feet come close together. Inhale, extend those arms upward. And exhale, forward fold. We're finding a crow pose here, so start to bring the feet a little farther apart. Hands come onto the mat. Maybe you're on the toes here, that works for a lot of us. Come onto the toes. Bend the elbows, kind of like you're taking a chaturanga. Spread the fingers. Lean the weight forward. You're making a little shelf for your elbows to sit on, so if the arms are straightened out, there's nowhere to put these elbows. Lean forward, bring the elbows back. Maybe you just have both knees here and you kind of try to lift the hips and draw the belly, bringing less weight onto the elbows. Maybe one foot comes in. Maybe you try the other side, one foot. And maybe you do both here. Try to join the big toes, send them up towards the hips. And if This version of crow is a little bit easier for you. Maybe straighten out the arms. Really press those knees to bring the arms farther forward. And then we'll hop back into chaturanga here. Maybe you're just lowering the feet and stepping back. We'll clear it out with the vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Okay, on your next inhale, we're coming forward through plank pose, stacking shoulders above the wrists. Take your side plank here, Vashisthasana. Heels come over towards the right side. Left foot can help to support the body, or maybe it's stacking on top for a little bit harder variation. Left hand can come to hip, or extend the left fingertips up towards the sky. Try to lift the hips, and if you're locking the right elbow, bend it a little, turn the bicep forward. If you had another variation in mind, you can go ahead and take that big toe hold tree, just lifting the top leg. I'll stay right here. So tricky transition, we're trying to get the left foot to the front of the mat without bringing the left hand onto the mat. See if you can lift the left knee, come onto the right toes, slowly step it forward. Now you can bring both hands here, drop the right knee, top of the foot. We're coming into Anjaneyasana. Go ahead and reach the arms up high. Send the left heel towards the right foot towards the left heel. So we're squeezing everything in, drawing inward at the pelvic floor, the belly, lifting the heart, extend up through the fingertips. From here, find your high lunge, so maybe without the use of the hands, we're tucking the toes, we're lifting the back knee. From high lunge, warrior 3, so maybe you start by extending arms back. I'm gonna bring my left foot a little closer just so I can not come out of the picture frame here. Extend back, bringing more weight into the left foot. Slide right toes forward, straighten out left leg a little bit more, reach right heel back. This is comfortable, maybe airplane's arms, or reaching out, maybe even reaching forward here. Try to square the hips so the right toes not coming out, straight forward. See if you can bend the knee here a lot in your warrior 3. Now maybe even kind of resting belly on top of the thigh. Get nice and low. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands back to foot to the floor, clear it out with the vinyasa. Not just zipping through the chaturangas and the up dogs, whatever's hardest for you. Maybe even take a little bit longer there, so we're working on our weaknesses. Take enough time to study the breath after. Okay, come back into your plank pose on your inhale, stacking shoulders, keep elbows a little bit soft, keep shoulder blades down the back. Turn to the left side, coming onto the outside of the left foot, maybe stacking legs. Reach right arm up. Keep on reaching through the heels and through the crown of the head, kind of like you're taking a mountain pose. Tuck the tail, belly in. Maybe you find another variation of Vashisthasana you'd like to take. Just make sure you can breathe. So that tricky transition again, start to bring the right leg off the left, bend the knee in. Transfer onto the left toes, extending right fingertips forward to help you now as you place right foot to the front of the mat. Maybe beside the left hand, maybe it doesn't quite get there, but we'll lower the left knee onto the floor. Top of the foot as well. Come up into your Anjaneyasana, your lowest lunge. We're sending the left side of the body forward to right side back. Make sure you can feel a stretch through the front of the left thigh, hip flexor, psoas muscle, all of that. Drawing the core in to help strengthen those muscles, get a little more flexibility there through that strength. Okay, begin to tuck the back toes, maybe without the use of the hands. Press yourself up, crescent lunge. From here, warrior 3, extend the arms back. Start to bring the weight forward as you maybe start to pop off of the left toe. So you can stay right here. Maybe you hover here in your warrior 3, but if you can parallel the leg towards the floor a little bit more, do that. Maybe hands heart center. Maybe they're out to airplane. The wall's in the way here for me. Maybe they're reaching forward as well here. We're gazing out towards the floor, so the neck is reaching out. Head is reaching forward. The neck is lengthening. A little bend of the standing leg if you need to. But we'll bend it a lot here. Your low warrior 3. Really turning on that right glute to keep you upright here. Deep breath in. Slowly lower. Left foot finds the floor. Press the right foot back. Vinyasa if you'd like. Take a little rest again in child's pose if you'd like to. You can be in downward dog. You can be anywhere really if you'd like. I'm going to take a little rest. Okay, let's try a few back bends here. We're going to do some Ustrasana camel pose. So come onto hands and knees. Lengthen the top of the shins into the mat. If it's more comfortable for you, you want to find the heels, you can tuck the toes. Eventually we're doing tops of the feet though. Start to bring yourself upright. So we want to bring hips parallel towards the knees at first. So if your hips back here, tucking the tail, setting the fronts of the thighs forward, already feeling a pretty deep back bend in the low portion of the body. But in order to reach back and find the toes, we're going to have to open up the front body. I like to start lifting my ribcage higher here, and I'll lift up through the sternum. So instead of thinking sternum forward, think sternum straight up towards the sky. Shoulders, squeeze them in behind you as if you had bound hands. You can even take bound hands, and this can be your Ustrasana camel for today. Maybe even look back here. If you needed more support, hands can stay at the hips. Otherwise, we're reaching back, finding the heels. Press the hips forward, lengthen the heart up. You can turn the gaze back. Make sure you're not splitting to the outsides of the knees here. You're hugging them in. I know it's hard. Keep on doing it. Ground through the tops of those feet to help extend the upper body higher. Deep breath in. Gently find your way out. You can bring hands to heart center, hovering here if you'd like. Start to bring the upper body up. Right hips come back a little. Last thing you're going to do is turn the gaze forward and gently sit back on those hips for Vinyasa. Just take a moment here for the body to acclimate to coming right side up again, just so we're not blacking out or anything like that. We'll try another one of those. Another trick you can do if you can't find the ankles here and you're wanting to do that, you can even have a wall behind you and you can kind of walk the hands back a little bit, or have blocks on either side. They're a little wobbly, but if you bring the hands to them first, you can even lift the hips from there and start on the blocks. Wherever you are in your Ustrasana, come back upright. Squeeze inner thighs, send the fronts of the hips forward, tuck the tail, lift the heart again. Hands can stay here. Maybe they're coming to heart as you arch back. Maybe they find the ankles or the feet. Send the hips forward. Keep the shoulder blades squeezed in so we're lengthening through the collarbones, through the sternum. Press those lower ribs up. Make sure you can breathe. If you can't breathe in the steepest version of the pose, you're coming out a little bit, helping to focus on that, making some space through mindful breath. And gently bring your way upright here. Last thing you do, bring that gaze forward, soften in your lightning bolt. Any little resetting you needed to take here, maybe you're rocking hips, giving a little twist to the body. Rolling the shoulders. Okay, find your way to a seat. We're going to work on some seated twists. This is going to help reset the spine after those back bends. First, we're going to work on Ardha Matsyendrasana. So you'll start the legs out in front for a nice strong Dandasana, your staff pose, maybe even using hands to help lift the heart here. Maybe the core can help lift the heart. We're trying to take the bend out of the lower back, so really come onto the front of the seat, lift high. From here, bring the right foot in. You'll bring it to the inside of the left thigh. If it's okay to bring it to the outside, you can bring it there. But if the big toe mound doesn't stay glued to the mat and you're kind of on the outside of the foot, bring it back over to its side. You can also zip that left foot back in. And if you can come here with both feet onto the floor, rooting and sit up tall, take this variation right here. We'll bring the right hand behind the back, close so we're not leaning back here, but keeping ourselves upright. Inhale, lengthen through the left side of the body, reach up, and you can either grab onto the knee, You can bring the tricep to the front of the thigh and extend over. Maybe even reach forward and try to find the inside of the foot. A little bit harder here. You don't have to find this variation. Just gaze over the right shoulder. Make the feet, the sit bones nice and strong, so we're anchoring downward to the floor, lengthening hard, using that length to get deeper into the twist. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Maybe use the core to unravel the legs all by themselves. You don't have to too. You can use this as support if you need to as well. We'll try our Ardha Matsyendrasana, other side, half floor of the fish's pose. So start by bringing the left foot in. Try to close the knee joint, bring the foot close. If it's out here, that's fine. See if you can minimize the openness of the knee. Bring it over to the right side if that's comfortable. Bring right foot in. So you can be in this shape right here, and if this is not working for you, one of those two other variations. Left hand, bring it behind the back. Inhale, reach out through the right side of the body. Can grab onto the tricep, grab onto the thigh, I should say the knee, tricep to thigh. Or we're trying to find the inside of that left foot pretty deep here, so maybe you're here, maybe you're here. Just try to lift the heart in towards the thigh. Rotating the right side of the body towards the left. From the very base of the spine, turn at the sacrum, the belly especially here. Moving at the heart, turn the chin, finally the gaze. Keep on looking over the left shoulder. Okay, begin to bring yourself back to center. Maybe without using those arms, find your way back into your staff pose. Sit up nice and tall, reset. We'll do Bradvajasana 2, Bradvajas twist, second variation here. So you're going to slide the legs out towards, not both of them, that's Bradvajasana 1. Bring the left foot out here, and maybe you find half here. I'll show you from behind. Can do a half here where the toes are facing straight behind you, and you bring the hip a little bit closer towards the heel. If that's not working for you, heel can come out kind of like a pigeon prep shape over in this left leg. The right leg is going to maybe find that pigeon prep as well. So you can be right here making this shape. If the right leg can come on top of the thigh and this knee is not lifted, we want to anchor down into the floor, you can find a figure 4 or maybe a half lotus. And maybe you have your half lotus and your half here with the left toes facing straight behind. Bring the right hand behind the back. We'll inhale through the left side of the body. And exhale, left hand to right knee. At this point, if you know, you can use the left hand to bring the right foot to the right hand and bind here. Take that, don't worry about it too much. Left hand will come back to the knee. And we'll turn towards the right side of the room here, maybe hugging right knee in a little bit closer, sending right shoulder back into space. And normally when we take a twist, our gaze is over the direction that we're twisting this time. Turn it over towards the left knee, down the left shoulder. Notice if the right shoulder creeps back forward as you gaze towards the left, send it back. Keep the belly in. Even maybe taking a little back bend here, so lifting the heart a little bit more. It's easy to open up the back for me here anyway. And I like to exaggerate that feeling a little bit more in this pose. Inhale. Gently release, coming out right again. You can kind of slide the legs out in front. Maybe using the hands, find your staff pose again. Bradvajasana, other side. So bringing the right foot in, you can find pigeon prep. You can bring it into a half hero. Left foot, either in another pigeon prep right here. It can come to a figure 4 if the knee isn't high. You can even bring a blanket to sit up on to help you in this pose, but if it's underneath the right foot, you're sliding it just under the left butt cheek here. Guess I should have said that earlier, but now you know, blanket's gonna help you. Anyway, left foot, if it can come into half hero, have it right here. Out on the floor is perfectly good as well. You don't have to have that variation. Left hand, bring it behind the back. Inhale out through the right side, extend. Right hand to the knee, rotating over if you wanted to find the half bind. You have the half bind. We're sending the heart over towards the right side, turning the left shoulder back, and the gaze comes down towards the right knee this time. Just twist here, inhale getting longer, exhale turning a little bit more. Just noticing how the breath influences the poses, or just this pose in particular. Deep breath in. Gently release here. Can bring the legs out and out in front. Straighten out the legs one more time, Dandasana. We're going to find some wide-legged forward fold shapes here. So maybe you're out 90 degrees, and if you can go a little wider like I am, you can go a little wider as well. Just make sure you're not into the lower back and rounding here. You want to be able to sit up nice and tall. Energize through the legs, reaching down through the heels, flex the toes up. We'll take a little side bend here. So rotate the heart towards the left side, bring the right arm to the right leg. Keep the heart open, kind of like when we were doing triangle and we were coming over the leg, we weren't sending the heart towards the floor, we were extending it away. Do that. You can lean a little farther forward. Reach up through the left hand, turn the palm towards the right toes, then extend forward. So maybe you don't find the toes if you can grab onto them and open. So we're trying to lengthen through the whole left side of the body. You may notice that the left leg kind of disengages as you're over by the right. See if you can strengthen it again. Bring yourself upright. We'll do this other side. Remember to ground both butt cheeks. So just because you're leaning to the left doesn't mean right leg gets to pick up. Ground it even deeper. Extend left leg, down the left arm, down the left leg. Reach up through the right side body. We're all the way upright as we find this length, and we try to keep it as we come down. Maybe you find the toes, you really don't have to. Better a straight line of energy reaching out than finding the toes and the heart is turned towards the floor. We want to keep that openness here. Extend the crown of the head forward into space. And then bring yourself back to center. You can pull the knees up, bring them in a little bit closer. We'll come all the way onto the back. Pull the knees in for a wind reliever. You can do some circles here, especially if there's tension in the lower back for maybe the forward folds or maybe the back bends. We're trying to massage that a little bit. You can rock side to side as well. Any other pose the body needs to take today? I know I like to close my practices with a shoulder stand or maybe even a plow. I'm not going to do that for today's video, but anything else you were needing, a headstand, maybe some more supine hip openers, a Baddha Konasana, a Supta Padangusthasana, go ahead and take any of those that you need. Otherwise, we're finding Harshavasana. And just allow the arms and legs to get nice and wide. Softening that physical body. Feel it sink deeper into the floor. Feeling heavy, safe, supported. And if you're still breathing those nice deep shaped inhales and exhales, now would be the time to go back to your normal rhythm of breath. And just notice it take a more shallow form. Keep track of what it sounds like, the movements it makes in the body as it flows in and out. Just so we're keeping alert during our final resting pose. Just like all the other poses we did today, where there's things we were supposed to be doing with the body, Shavasana is the same way. We're not just relaxing and allowing the mind to wander. We're actually here trying to keep the physical body soft and notice the breath so that we're in the present, we're in the body, and we're just allowing the body to heal, the muscles to restore, and just allow some muscle connection with the mind so it memorizes everything it learned today, so we have a deeper understanding of how to do our asanas next time we arrive on the mat. As always, take as long as you need in this Shavasana. I'll let the video run just a little bit longer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like or subscribe. Give me any ideas of what you want next in your videos. It makes my job a little bit easier. Namaste.